Welcome, everybody, to the second game that's going to be streamed this weekend. I'm here with a new caster, actually. It's not going to be Mystic, and instead is going to be the small dog on the play-by-play. So, welcome, small dog. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm really excited to get involved with you guys, and thank you for having me here. I hope this is an exciting game to cast. I'm anxiously awaiting.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it will be. Let me tell you. So we have two of the teams, Revenge Nation Turquoise versus the First Blood Dongers. So we'll see if they hold true to their name and get First Blood. It's best 2 out of 3. So you got some time, like if COVID is getting you down like it is me, let us pick you up with some good content, some good games. Right now we're in the picking phase. We got an Orin in the top versus the Fiora, and yeah, looking to. Oh yes, I love the Hecarim. The Hecarim
Yeah,
pick,
a little
so
surprised
good.
that Hecarim did not actually get banned, but instead targeting the Shen for that jungle. So Itacomic actually going to get that Hecarim. That's a really strong pick.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that they banned out 2 global champions or semi-global with the TF. Shin TF like gone, and then on the other side, you have Galio also banned, and Ziggs is technically also semi-global. So both of these teams
That's true.
definitely want to get rid of, like, I guess, the macro potential in the earlier stages of the game, early to mid game. But normally you don't see those kinds of bans. So a lot of meta champions coming, well, at least one meta champion coming through with the Hecarim. Very,
Yeah.
very strong pick right now. So
Yeah, I'm a little surprised, with the Ziggs. I never really think of that as global, but it does kind of make sense. It's kind of a target ban for ZPM, very strong on that mid laner. So gonna take that away. It is a little surprising that ZPM opts for that Ziggs a lot of times when there's a lot stronger mid laners out there. But he is gonna go with Orianna this time, which I think is gonna look really good with this team comp. A lot of engage and ability to get that ball where you need it for the shockwave.
yeah, and honestly, with the Ziggs pick being banned out, it's kind of curious. If you have a very good like mid jungle synergy, you can actually pop 2 plates worth of gold.
Oh my
So
gosh.
if you get one down by yourself, you get the Herald to knock down 2, then you can get about 2 of them with the Ziggs satchel. So kind of crazy.
Right.
You can have the potential to snowball a game really quickly, and then also he's good at defending pushes. Not really against Baron so much, but very good at stalling out games if you have another carry who
Yep.
needs to get online. So you get a good early game lead, clear, scale. It's a pretty good combination, but you're right. It's not exactly meta right now, but
Yeah.
there are stronger picks.
Yeah, it just feels like a lot of his, abilities. We're going on so much about Ziggs. He's not even in this game, but a lot of his abilities rely on him landing those bombs. And if you blow your skills, you don't have anything. It just leaves him a little bit useless. But looking at the bot lane, very long range bot lane. So we'll have to see how aggressive these champions are. Janna and Lulu not known for being the most aggressive, but with the right players, it could be a fairly explosive bot lane.
It could be. And I really like Ash with the composition that they drafted. She provides that engage and then a follow up with the Hecarim mold and then an Ornhorn. They have the ability to engage from a very long distance, get picks, but also they have a ton of peel with the Lulu. And I don't
Yes.
know. I just love their composition. Double carry with a really safe back line and a massive front line engage. So I honestly favor their team composition just because I feel like it's a little bit easier to execute. And honestly, if the Voldy Bears are anything like the LCS, they're just gonna press R to get the heck out. They're not gonna go in with it because for
Yeah.
some reason they never do.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot on how that Volibear plays with his ult. If he's able to get a good positioning for the Orianna ball. But yeah, I really like both of these bot lane comps. Both S tier picks in my opinion. I'm a support main, so I love playing Lulu and Janna, but I think they're very strong in the current meta as support as well.
Yes. So I am recently adopting the support role, and I think Lulu is a sleeper pick. I think
She's so good.
it's definitely gonna come out in Worlds. If I don't see it at Worlds, like, I'm ending my career of shoutcasting, which wasn't very long. I haven't done this for very long, but, like, I just think that she's so strong, her shield is busted, and then the
Yeah.
polymorph is way underrated right now, I think, and yeah, I agree with you, super sleeper, and yeah. So, tell us a little bit more about you, though. We have about a minute left to just kinda talk, so, Small Dog, like, how long you been playing League? Where are you from? Let's get to
So
know you, my man.
So yeah, so my name is Scott or the Small Dog, and I'm in the DC area here. I've been casting League since back in 2014, 2015. I took a really long break. So this is actually my fifth game casted since I've come back from like a 5 year break. So I'm trying to relearn the game, get back into things. But yeah, I'm really excited to be here and excited to be casting again. It's been kind of like a void that needs filling. So
Heck yeah.
this is good for me.
Hey, well, we're glad you're here as well, part of the ReDefy esports org. And 20 seconds left, though. Let's go ahead and run down the rest of the people in the game. So we have, I'll do the left side. On Revenge Nation Turquoise, we have Strong World on the Orn. I Iconic. That's an interesting name. On the
Iconic.
Hecarim, uh, Horizon, Obongo, and Reckoning, I'll call him.
Yeah, Reckoning. That's pretty good. So and on the red side, you're gonna have First Blood Dongers. In the top lane, it's gonna be FB Ray, I believe. In the jungle, we have Trippy Red Buff as mid lane, ZPM on 80 carry, 13 II, and as support FB Jakers. I think I got that right.
If you did, you're amazing. Let me just say. So we are loading in right now, guys. We're getting things set up on the Rift, and I just want to point something out. Interestingly enough, we keep track of a lot of stats, which makes them for some interesting uh, conversation. So Hecarim, yes, they didn't ban it, but in our league so far, in these past 2 weeks, Hecarim has been picked 11 times. He's gotten through 11 times, but has a 27.3% win rate.
Yeah, that is very disappointing. I expect so much from his speed, but
Like, how? I don't understand.
that is crazy.
Like,
Yeah,
it's
because
such a strong pick.
I think it is one of the top tiered picks right now. I ban it every single solo queue game, but yeah, it's not doing so hot in the standings for ReDefy right now.
It is not. And it is a shame. We got a standard 5-point coming out here, though. Yeah, I like it when the jungler goes mid because it's like less obvious where he's going, but it's like not really
Yeah.
that big of a deal. You know what I'm saying? But
That's a good little detail, though.
it is. And on the stats as well, since nothing's happening, these guys just playing it safe, testing the waters. Yeah, I think it's interesting that Set is also a strong pick right now. He has a 16% win rate in our league. Top played and top win rate is Morgana and Shen. So both of those very strong picks, but Morgana, you haven't been seeing much in pro play. It honestly normally gets banned, but it's interesting that people have such a high win rate on it, but aren't banning it. I guess they're comfortable with it, but like, especially with Caitlyn being in the meta. Like,
yeah, exactly.
ban Morgana, guys. Like 66% win rate means a lot.
Yeah, I was really surprised that Morgana wasn't actually targeted at all in this pick ban phase. Very strong, and for the players as well. I think both of these supports play Morgana, but they're gonna opt for a much more passive lane, and you don't really need that Morgana unless you have unless you have threats such as Thresh or Nautilus, somebody with a large amount of CC. But it does help against Ashe, even if you don't end up taking it. And this bot lane as well, playing fairly safely if we're looking at summoner spells. Reckoning is going to go with that Exhaust, and Jaker is running Exhaust as well. And you can see the cleanse for the Crystal Arrow on 13.
Yep, so opting into the cleanse instead of picking Morgana. I do like the John and pick myself. It is a very good tool against
Yes.
Hecarim. Usually, you can kind of delay his engage or any follow-up. So both sides on the bottom lane, I really like their compositions, as you already addressed. And in the top lane, I'm actually not too sure who wins. Ornn versus Fiora. I feel like you can never count out Ornn's damage. It's just disgusting. But she can also outplay the knockup. And yeah, I don't know. It's just super interesting. Both of them have immunity to CC for a short while, and also have CC, and I don't know. So it's gonna be an interesting top lane for sure.
Yeah, that one should be interesting. I think, you don't really think about it when you're talking about Ornn as much, but it is kind of a skill matchup to see who's going to win that lane. And I'm also interested to see where the priority is put. I have a feeling that Itaconic is going to look to pressure that top side, as we do see Trippy actually looking his way up there right now. But I think they're onto him.
Yep, looks like Hecarim notices that no one's contesting the bottom scuttle, and Ornn backs out. So good communication going on by blue side here. And as a jungler myself, I think Hecarim could have ganked there. He was kind of hovering around in the river. I think if he just like ran in with an Ash W slowing, they could have gotten a flash out at least.
Right.
Bully is gonna show himself.
Yeah, Trippy's getting bullied out a little bit. He does have a little bit of healing left. I think he's chugging that last potion now. But yeah, Ray not even getting any help in that top lane. Already a little bit of CS ahead too.
And I'm surprised to see that Caitlyn's getting smashed so hard in this lane. Like,
yeah,
I don't know what's happening, but like, you should just stay behind your minions. You started a Cole. I don't know if he knows the strat, but if you go Cole on Caitlyn, she has the lowest base HP of any ADCs in the game. So Sneaky pointed this out. And if you take Cut down, you'll actually proc the full amount on an ADC that takes Doran's Blade. So you get maximum damage potential out of the Cole, and it's actually better than a Doran's if the enemy opponent goes Doran's. And so I feel like she should be destroying this lane. You have good sustain, you outranged them, you took fleet footwork. Like, I just don't understand what's going on. Like, I don't know how they're losing lane so hard. Even with the CS deficit. Wow. It's not what you want to see.
Yeah, I think part of this is, the itemization that these supports are opting for too, not taking the spell thieves, is going to lower their damage. So I'm a little bit disappointed. I was talking in the band pick, it could be an aggressive bot lane. I always love seeing, mage supports played very aggressively. I mean, even the utility supports such as Lulu and Janna. But yeah, they're both going to go fairly passive this game. And it does make sense that they're, running exhaust, playing it safe just for the late to mid game. But still, I would have liked to see a little more action in the spot lane. I think, like you said, Caitlyn could probably do a little... push it a little harder.
Yeah, and honestly, for the First Blood Dongers having the name being First Blood, they have not showed much aggression so far. They tried to force a gank in the top lane on Ornn, but he was already long gone. So honestly, a little bit of a misplay. He is down about 2 camps now and has to hold mid lane. Ugh, not good. They can track him easily. He's just falling behind at this point. Even with Predator, still hasn't gotten a good gank off, and people are hitting level 6 now. Like, Bully Bear is not very good at like dealing much damage unless he's able to have someone else set it up, and with people hitting 6 before him, it's not what you want to see. It's definitely going to even delay his ganks even further. So we'll see if he's able to recover from that.
Yeah, you see the pressure that RN was able to accumulate there is now going to result in the first dragon getting picked up there for them.
Nice.
So a good early pickup.
Yeah, and I think it synergizes very well with the composition. They're going to be going in on the Bully Bear. Oh.
Yeah, Trippy's going to go really low, has to flash over that wall, but we'll get the shield and stays alive. That was a little sketchy there, but now, I mean, you were talking about it, he's going to get his blue buff stolen away as well, and he's going to fall even further behind.
Yep, when you show in the mid lane as the jungler that you are 2 camps behind and haven't hit level 6, yeah, that's a free dragon, and they're going to invade you because you can't do anything. You can't even ult out. So he ends up burning his flash, and still hasn't hit level 6, getting his blue buff taken away. And Hecarim, if he wants, can just go topside now. Yes, he's level 5 as well, but he is a little bit more farmed up, and
he's looking towards that mid lane, does get the knockback on the ZPM, but Orianna in that mid lane fairly safe, still has flash up as well.
Yep, definitely a clean execution, or a clean escape, the great escape, whatever that movie is called. But yeah, I don't know. I feel bad for the Volibear. It looks like he's probably gonna hit 6 off of this camp, but again, he's losing Scuttle Crabs. The second Scuttle Crab has gone over to Hecarim, so that's very good. He's onto his own blue buff. He's just going to be way more ahead in CS here. Looks like he's going to be heading down towards the bottom lane. Will be spotted out though as the pings go down.
Yeah, a lot of pink wards down for the side of RN. Not really getting cleared away there.
Yeah, that honestly is an issue. He didn't even check the bushes. So
yeah,
no,
he's not even going to remove it. So next time he comes to gank, it's still going to be a problem.
Yeah, like if note to all the junglers out there. I used to be a jungle main myself last season.
Does get spotted there.
Yeah, finally it does. Yeah, always check the bushes. Like,
yeah.
The owner of this org, Breezy Bay, the amount of VOD reviews, I'm just kidding, that he would just like literally walk past bushes and there would be a pink ward that saw him like 7 times or something. It was a lot of fun to talk about, but it's not really something you think about, like, oh, right, should I just check the bush? No, you're looking at other lanes, and there's a lot that goes on for junglers.
Sure.
A lot to keep track of. So common mistake, but luckily his team was able to catch that and, you know, took care of it. That's what teams are for.
It's not a lot either, but you do get a little bit of gold, a little bit of experience for taking that away, and it's also just denying the enemy team, you know, that vision, so you can revisit. So it benefits the jungler slightly. It kind of redeems the fact that they're not able to get a gank off, and they just get a little bit of, you know, gold and XP back and are able to go back to jungling. But 51 CS now on that Volibear, still falling behind. I mean, it is expected that Hecarim, he's a very strong farmer, so he's going to power through that jungle pretty fast, but this is starting to be a little bit dangerous if you're looking for a trippy red buff.
I mean, yeah, the poor Volibear, he has Predator, which means that he's not going to be a front line, and now he's behind, so he's not going to be dealing damage even with the Predator. So not looking good, but again, he could get a shutdown. He could get some kills here coming up, and then just start snowballing the game. He's definitely not out of it, as he has shown that he wants to be aggressive, and that's always key. That's key in a game of League of Legends, and I think if he's putting pressure on the map, it allows his team to scale, and they scale very, very well into the late game with Orianna, Fiora, and Kate.
Sure. And he's spending so much time around this mid and bot lane. I think he really wants to make a play happen there, but Itaconic, I keep wanting to add an M in the middle of his name, but he seems to be okay with that, as he is going to get caught out here. Shockwave's going to come out. Itaconic has to jump over that wall. Might be able to get away. Yep, does have the speed buff to help him get away, as the teleport's going to come in for Ray as well as Strong World. I don't think anybody really wants this fight. Still no first blood, 10 minutes and 50 seconds in the game.
Yes, both teams playing incredibly safe. Again, instead of Hecarim, you know, it was Volibear that ulted out. Sorry, instead of Volibear, it was Hecarim that ulted out.
Yeah.
But one of the two, they're going to be ulting out, and I don't... That's just NA, you know? In LPL, if they're going to die, they ult in, they go ham, they deal damage, but it's a little bit of a different play style here. Nothing wrong with that. But yes, we have gone 11 minutes dry of a kill, but Volibear's catching up because of that catch right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I don't actually blame Itaconic for looking in that bush. Like, Volibear stayed in that pixel brush for so long. Like, at that point, he should have seen him and, like, counted the seconds and, like, okay, he's top lane by now. You know, like, there's no way he's still here, but Itaconic just sitting around. And now, you know, FPV going to back off, and second Drake's going to go over.
Yeah, not quite sure why they did that. I guess they were down 2 ultimates to only Hecarim blowing his. But I still feel like they had the advantage. They hold the bush. Like, Hecarim can't walk in. He has no ultimate. He has Ghost. So you pop the cone, there's no chance of them contesting unless they come front. to back, and that's honestly really, really good for the side of FBD, First Blood Dongers. But again, 2 Drakes over to blue side.
Yeah, as we see a gank here in the bot lane, Janna's going to end up going down, and that's going to be a double kill for ZPM in that mid lane, exactly what he wants. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Strongword getting a solo kill. That is huge.
3 kills for nothing. Like, across the board, everyone just started popping off all of a sudden. 12 minutes dry, then we get 3 kills in quick succession, and another blue buff is going to get stolen. Ooh, Corky trolled a little bit. He's got it. Single outage. Yeah, very well played. Very, very well played. They're looking to, I hope, to push the lead and keep the aggression on as Ashe is getting fed now. Getting she didn't get any kills, but she got 2 assists and then 2 plays, which is a kill pretty much. So very, very good for them.
Yeah, and that Ashe already, I felt like slightly ahead in that lane, having the Murra mana already completed, but you know, the Infinity Edge is coming out for 13 I. So it's very difficult to say all of those eyes.
Seriously.
I think in the team fights, it's just gonna have to be 13. Sorry, man.
Well, yes, I would agree with you there. And low priority. Thanks for the follow, my man. I hope you feel at home. Kapatai as well. I miss you, Jake. I miss you. He used to be my jungle coach, so for a short while. But he went off to the military and he's back. So thanks for your service, my man. And I'm glad that you're home. Glad that you're back with the community. And yeah, game state, about 1,000 gold lead, 1,500 gold lead for, excuse me, Revenge Nation Turquoise. I keep forgetting. Revenge Nation Turquoise, yeah, they have themselves a little bit of lead with 2 dragons as well. That's also some bonus stats, and the Cloud Drake scales very, very well with just their composition.
Yes.
They're looking to engage with the ults, that's simply put. And the more that those things are up, the more kills that they can get, as we saw with Explosive earlier.
Yeah, and I think one of the difficulties, as we do see a lot of damage coming out here onto Strong World, he will get that ulti popped onto him. Ray's trying to put back damage, but the healing is really coming out for him right now. Ray might have the chase, though. Blast Cone is going to be available, but Ray is going to get right on top of it, knocks him back, and now Strong World going to end up going down in that top lane. 1 kill traded back, 1-1.
It almost looked like that last hit was an invisible auto, but again, the flick of the wrist is all that matters there. Picking himself up a solo kill, getting revenge. Let's see. Losing a fight, but not giving up the war, and gets himself a revenge kill. And yeah, a little bit of a skirmish here in the bottom lane. Not really sure why, there's not much going on. Dragon's not going to be up for another minute and a half. But yeah, what else do they have to do?
Something I wanted to touch on was, you know, FBD getting a lot of pressure in this bot lane when they forced out the Hecarim ulti, but they are not able to actually secure a lot of vision around there. We do see a pink ward in the tri-bush now, ward going up in the river, so they do have vision now, but earlier on, it felt like they got control over the dragon, didn't get vision, and then lost the dragon and got, you know, attacked bot lane, so bit of a misplay, I felt like, for FBD.
Yeah, I would agree. And talking about misplays, Orin just missed his ult. Like, literally no reason he should have not hit that second cast. But, you know, it happens. The slip of
It happens. It happens.
Yes, poor guy. We won't touch on it anymore, man. Strong word. It's okay. It's okay. It happens. Yeah, but that could have been a kill on Orianna. Or, yeah, I mean, she forced the flash anyway, which is interesting. But, yeah. Big misplay.
Another gank here in the bot lane, but the return for Trippy is going to try to get the damage down on Bongo, but Jakers is going to end up following. It looks like a lot of oh my gosh, that Corky does a lot of damage. Trippy going down in the bot lane, as well as the teleport is going to come through, so there's going to be a bit of pressure from Ray in that top lane, but we'll see what they're able to get. This is right before Dragon spawns.
Yeah, and as we talked about, Volibear is behind. Ooh, Shockwave. This is talking about...
Oh, no. ZPM getting caught.
Ouch. Yeah, that hurts. So, Dragon's going to be free. That is Soul Point going over to Revenge Turquoise people. I forgot.
Revenge Nation Turquoise.
Revenge Nation Turquoise. There we go. And, you know, like we talked about earlier, though, Volibear behind took Predator as his runes, so he's squishy as all get out. If you don't get fed, you are not a champion. And Cinderholt, Ninja Tabai, that's all you got. And he just melted to the Corki, absolutely destroyed. And it's only going to get worse once that Mana Moon is completed. And
Absolutely.
yeah, so it's not looking good. They don't have a front line. Fjord's not a front line. Yeah, there you go. Like,
yeah, you see so much damage coming out from the side of Revenge Nation Turquoise. They've got that Trinity Force now completed onto the Corki thanks to getting another kill in that bot lane, and Trinity Force has been completed for a while here on Idiconics, so a lot of damage coming out for the side of them, and big power spikes as well. And again, a very good job of capitalizing in the bot lane right before Dragon spawns.
Absolutely, the macro is on point from these guys. I don't know who they're seeking revenge for, but they're taking it out on these First Blood Dongers, and yeah, it's 6-1. They have a 2k gold lead, 3 dragons. You're in a good spot to close out this game, and they're showing constant aggression. And so they're not looking to just sit back and try and scale. They know they have the lead, and they're going to push it. And that's what you want to see in teams in a lead, right? Good communication.
Corki package coming through here. Reason not going to be able to quite find anything though.
Yeah. Ooh, little ballsy. As the Horn comes in as well, but he's got his team coming up. Ooh, but Hecarim's going to come in first.
Ray takes a lot of damage, but was able to dash over that wall. Now Trippy may have overcommitted trying to save his teammate. Baited right here as he's going to go down. Blastcone just respawned too. That was so troll.
That's quite unfortunate. Yeah, but again, Volibear, I guess he's taking one for the team. We'll call it that. We'll call it that. Yeah, maybe a little bit of a miscommunication there. Yeah, it just seems altogether that Revenge Nation Turquoise is more on point as a team thus far. They have shown good communication, and their ganks are almost flawless. This is almost a flawless game. And Corki on fire, roaming around, while Orianna has like been anchored to the mid lane and hasn't even gotten the turret. So definitely showing a lot better macro and timing in when they rotate. So I'm looking forward to see if they can keep this up, not only in this game, but in game number 2. And also if First Blood Dongers can come back. What are you thinking, man?
I'm a little surprised because I was looking very heavily towards ZPM and 13i to actually be the carries for this team. And I mean, Trippy was looking, he put a lot of attention around that mid to bot lane, but they just weren't able to make anything happen. And like you said, ZPM has basically been a turret sitting in that mid lane, but nothing's really come of it. He's got a little bit of damage down onto the mid lane turret, but aside from that, Corki has had such an impact around the map.
Yeah, he does. And here's a good insight. Like, Orianna just went for her chickens and now is going to push the lane late, and Corki's going to get there and pretty much clean up everything.
Yeah.
So when you do that, like when you're losing a lane as hard as you are, push the lane, like just, and then go get chickens. But she's just setting herself up for being late to rotations and for Corki to have a free lane. Now she's backing late. Okay, she's not going to back. Never mind. But like, I guess she's going to try and bait here or something. But yeah, just not very good macro play from Orianna this game thus far, I would say. It's honestly part of the reason why Corki can be so free. It's not because he's fed. He doesn't win lane any harder at this point. They're good. They're even in CS. So why is Corki all over the place and she's not? It's simply down to timing of when she's clearing out chickens and when she's pushing the waves.
Not punishing that Corki for Corki. Oh my gosh, Corki for leaving lane. Definitely is gonna hurt the team as a whole though, because like you said, he basically was able to recall, come back because Orianna was clearing chickens, and he didn't miss pretty much any CS, maybe 1 or 2, but he was able to get back, and that's the reason why he's so far ahead, is because he's been able to roam, do all that, and also still come to a free lane. So. Yeah,
I don't know. I get that Orianna scales and she's not the greatest champion early game, but like you gotta take advantage of the fact that Corki is roaming. At least match him or punish him. One of the two. But it looks like she's not doing either, and she's just taking camp from Volibear, who's also already way behind.
Yeah. And that's not going to help the jungle either. And now Corki's so strong that there's not a whole lot she can do against him. So it's really just a matter of playing with the team. They've got to be able to find picks. They've got to be able to work together and play around that Corki, especially when he doesn't have a package.
I completely agree. And because Orianna, well, she's doing okay for herself. But I feel like Ornn, if he wanted to, like, I'm not saying that this is good by any means, but if he wanted to, he could go double Sunfire Cape. This is going to be Soul Point here.
Yeah, Teleport is going to come through for Ray and, or I'm sorry, Strong World, and yeah, that's Soul. Just like that, giving up.
Just why? But they gave it up. All right, here comes the engage.
Yeah, Volibear is going to have to ult himself out. You called it, and he's still going to get stunned up. Jaker is a little bit far behind, and he's going to get taken down. So, free Soul Point, free mid lane. It really feels like FBD is falling behind here. Not really putting up much of a fight.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's okay to bleed out a little bit if you're going to, like, put your foot down eventually, you know? But they just seem to be giving up everything. They're on to the Baron now. It doesn't look like they're in a position to contest this. Orianna's heading to the bottom lane. They might not even know that they're on Baron right now.
Trippy has nothing to get over that wall. There's no Blast Cone. He does not have Flash or Ultimate available, so he's going to have to walk all the way around here, and they're just not looking at it. Can't see how low the Baron is, but yeah, it's just going to get taken. So RN running across the map, stealing every single objective, and FBD, things are looking pretty grim for them in the game number 1.
Absolutely. And Kapitai, I was saying that the double Sunfire Cape, you can upgrade both of them. Orianna built 2 Magic Pin items, but like raw pin, so she's not going to really deal much damage if Ornn builds a single MR item. So I feel like just with the fact that Caitlyn, Fiora, and Volibear all deal AD, and Janna also increases that damage, I feel like double Sunfire Cape could be okay, especially when she's playing so aggressive into the Fiora and is already winning this lane. Like, you might as well just smash lane even harder and yeah, make it so Fiora can't go to a single team fight. And well, yep. Look at that, you get Soul Point for free, you get Baron for free. Fiora's not a champion because she's always has to sit in lane. Could be a fun thing to do, but I don't know. He already is building it for him.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I've never heard of that build before, so I was really I wanted to ask you. I was like, wait, please explain. That's
yeah, and then Soul Point was gonna happen. I thought an explosive fight was gonna go down, but nope.
Strong World is getting beat out in this bot lane, but a few turret shots coming back on the Ray. He's gonna have to disengage.
Yes, Kapitai, it does stack. I mean, the passive damage doesn't, but the HP is massive. The armor is massive. You get 2 of those upgraded. So, ulting out again. What'd you say?
I think it used to stack way back in the day. It was a play. You'd take like Garen and just build a bunch of Sunfire Capes on him, so you just have all this AOE damage.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago.
Before passive, or unique passive.
Unique passive, yeah.
Uh-oh, Ornn's gonna get slapped a couple times by this noodle.
Yeah, oh, the flash coming in from Reckoning, actually getting the Lulu ult out onto him, and now Ray has to run away. He's taking so much damage, and he's gonna end up going down. Trippy now, I don't think he's quite gonna die here, but oh, the stun comes out on the Iconic. He's so low. Last turret shot's gonna finish him off, and that's a big kill picked up for ZPM. We'll have to see if they're able to stave off the quad.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So good plays by Caitlyn, utilizing her range, the slow from Stormrazor. Very, very well played. Is going to delay and deter the push coming from Revenge Nation Turquoise. Got it this time. Yeah, so crazy stuff happening. The Corki is massive, but you saw Caitlyn outranges him and does some deeps. However, we do see an Infinity Edge just now upgraded since the last fight, so that's a big power spike as well. A bunch of 80 coming in for Corki. But yeah, very well played, I think, from the First Blood Dongers. They're finally just not giving stuff up. They're rotating and catching teams out of place. Yep. So yeah, all in all, good stall. Maybe they could do it if they get a Baron or Elder. There is still win cons on the table, so maybe playing the long con was the right idea. Who
Yeah,
knows?
I'm excited because we're seeing signs of life from First Blood Dongers right here. Hopefully they can find these misplays again, but we do see Crystal Arrow coming out into Janna. Oh my gosh, they wanted her dead so bad. Ray now is going to take a lot of damage. He's going to fall as well, and that's not what you want to be doing right now if you're First Blood Dongers.
What is this, double lift? Sniping from across the rift? What a beast arrow. Honestly, I think he was only like mid lane or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm surprised they actually used that onto Janna. I did not expect that they wanted to burn that much onto the Janna, but they do get pressure now onto the turret.
Yeah, I think they could have carried that wave in. It's 3v5, but it looks like they're just, I don't know. Ornn was backlining it there for a little bit. So they look kind of indecisive. I guess they don't want to overcommit like that. Get the wombo comboed again under the turret. But yeah, so they are going to go for the soul, or not soul, Elder Dragon.
Yes.
And they're going to play it a little bit safe and just kind of secure the win, you know?
Yeah, Revenge Nation, they seem to be having a little bit of a hard time closing things out. I say as 2 kills, or I'm sorry, 1 kill is actually going to get picked up from Hacker, and 1 kill going back onto the side of First Blood Nation, but now Ray in the back line going to get cleaned up, and that's 40-second death timers. This should be an easy clean for Revenge Nation. Game number 1 is going to go over to them right there. Wow, I was about to, like, you know, play devil's advocate and like say, oh, you know, First Blood, you know, they're doing all right. They can, they got this, but no.
Absolutely not. They did overextend, trying to get some vision for the Elder Dragon, and that will be their demise. First game going over to Revenge Nation Turquoise, and it was done in a dominant fashion. So
Absolutely.
very, very well played by them. Their macro was on point. Only the support and frontliners died. Both carries stayed safe. And yeah, we talked about the compositions, just the fact that it's so hard to get onto this back line. And then Volibear taking a very aggressive early game rune to sacrifice pretty much his entire late game tank potential.
Yep.
And wasn't able to come up with anything. So game number 2 could be completely different. They could potentially snowball the early game, and it could be a
I
completely
hope so.
different story. Could be
Yeah,
the reverse.
I really hope they come back with a little bit more of aggression. It felt like you know, Volibear was very hesitant to actually use those ganks. So hopefully game number 2, they're going to be a little more aggressive, feel a little more comfortable, and well, I mean, we'll just have to see.
We will. And thank you everybody for tuning in. We are just going to take a short break. It again is a best 2 out of 3. If I can stop jumbling my words. We do appreciate you here. Hope you're enjoying the show, and we'll be right back with you after a short pause. Enjoy the music. Welcome back, everybody. It is Hun Turtle with the small dog. We're back for game number 2. It's about to be underway. And yeah, it's going to be a banger. I honestly think Revenge Nation Turquoise has shown that they have the upper hand both in skill, both in pick, both in draft and macro, whatever it be, they be on top, right? But we are here into the pick ban phase. I think the Dongers could potentially pull up an upset, as they showed that they had good knowledge about compositions and so on and so forth.
Yeah,
But
and
small dog,
I'm excited to see what First Blood Dongers has here in store for game number 2. I'm hoping they're able to shake off any kind of tilt that was on last game. Very, very convincing win from Revenge Nation. So that can be a little off-putting going into game number 2, but we'll just have to see. I do have high hope for them, though. I think that not all is lost. They just need to be a little bit more aggressive in laning phase, try not to give up quite as many objectives, and secure that vision. So, but we'll see how the ban and pick goes here. Lulu does get banned away. That was a very strong pick for the side of Revenge Nation. So I definitely agree with that.
yeah, definitely a good ban there. And once again, the Ziggs target ban. They're trying to bleed the opponent out with these bans again. I feel like that's kind of the strat from Revenge Nation. Like, just bleed them out, play a stronger early game, and
The
then
Ornn.
prevent them from stalling the game out. And yeah, they're doing a great job of it so far. And their pick and bans this time, or at least the bans, have shown that maybe they're going to run the same kind of strat. And a
Okay, Kled.
Kled,
Interesting.
yeah. So that's a
Yeah,
180-degree change from last game.
yeah. I do think, though, we were talking a little bit last game, right before it came to an abrupt end. First Blood Dongers, the play might be to draw it out to late game for them, just because you could see a little bit hesitation in Revenge Nation Turquoise, not quite able to close that game out as smoothly as I think they would have hoped.
They definitely didn't, and they made a few mistakes that almost, well, I wouldn't say almost cost them the Elder
Yeah, they still had a
Dragon.
really good lead, but
But yeah, they definitely almost put themselves in a situation where a big comeback could have happened, dying right before Elder
yeah,
spawns. If they had overcommitted and all died there, yeah, it could have could have been tragic. But right now we have a Khaled versus Maokai in the top lane, which is, as we were saying, 180-degree for the First Blood
yeah,
Dongers. Khaled is all in. Olaf is all in. Like, it's you could say it's more useful from behind than a Volibear, but either way, like, if you don't get fed, you're not doing much. And then
yeah,
the Oriana ball delivery system, like, it's just all in this time. So let's see some aggression. That's what I'm hoping for. Please don't play
yeah.
passive.
No major leaps into the team to get that ball exactly where they want it. But I mean, if Olaf's able to run right into the middle of the team and nobody's able to stop him, that can be a big turning point. And we were talking about the Morgana last game. Does come out here. I
Oh.
find it interesting. Oh, of course, this was done on Pro Draft, so we're not seeing them in the order that they were drafted. So I think the Morgana was probably picked first, and then the Karma was picked into her.
Most likely, we've seen that as a counter. Ash was not banned, but maybe they aren't that comfortable. But Ash Karma has been seen a lot as a counter to Caitlyn Morgana, as you just shove them into the turret, and then you have free reign to roam. You can get some early dragons. But Senna, not quite the same, but I feel like it is a very aggressive bottom lane. Like,
Yep.
you don't really need to worry about the black shield. You assuming that she's running glacial augment, I think is what it's called, on Senna. Like, you're
Yeah.
gonna be able to slow either target. You deal a ton of damage. So does Karma. I would like to see Senna and Karma be very aggressive in this lane, not just
Yes.
shoving, but like going in for kills. Like, punish them if they want Caitlyn to get fed in this game.
Yeah, this is a big change from what we saw from First Blood Dongers last game. Like you said, I hope for that aggressive bot lane. Karma, a much more aggressive support. So if this Karma ends up playing a lot like how Jakers played the Janna, I don't think that they're going to do too well in that bot lane. But a new game, new Karma. We'll have to see how they do.
New game, new karma. That's right. And yeah, I think, yeah, I'm just confused. I'll be honest. Like, the last draft was very safe. This draft is balls in for
It is,
the
yeah.
First Blood Dongers. I'm excited to see that they're gonna completely change their playstyle because they realized it wasn't working before.
Yeah.
But can they out aggress, outplay, out mechanic the side of Revenge Nation Turquoise? I don't know. Honestly, I want to say last game was so passive that like we didn't even get a really good look at the carries. Like no one was really popping off. It was more of
Yeah.
just here, take this and take that. Oh, you want my lunch money? Bruh, take my whole like life savings. Like that's what it felt like. And I don't want to see that again, small dog.
Yeah, with a lot of games being decided in like the first 10 minutes, it was a little bit difficult to figure out like, okay, who wins this exactly when like nobody had died at like 11 minutes into the game. So
Right. I haven't seen a game
hopefully,
that slow in a long time.
yeah, that was a very slow, very, very slow game. So, but I think this Olaf might be the pick that they need. You can't Volibear ult out, but I think the all in might be what they need because it's been a lot of hesitation, a lot of lack of aggression from First Blood Dongers. So, but yeah, we'll have to see how this early game goes. I'm excited.
Yeah, Kled is also a very good pick into Maokai. I believe it's one of the counters. You can cut the healing by default in his kit, and yeah, then you could just chase him down, beat the crap out of him. It's a tree versus Blade, I guess. I don't really know what he is, but yeah, I think it's a good matchup. I think he's able to better push the lead that he had on Fiora, for example. If he gets ahead on Kled, I feel like it's a much bigger of an impact, assuming he decides to roam this time. And yeah, I really like the pick. The top lane matchup is self-sufficient once again in the favor of the First Blood Dongers. But yeah, I don't know. If they don't rotate, what's the point? Like, what's the
Yeah,
point of picking Kled? And
yeah.
yeah, I'm looking forward to some dragon fights. Let's go. Let's
Yes, please.
bring it, you
I want
know?
a ZPM. I want ZPM to actually leave lane this time and
Yeah.
move towards that dragon. That's what I want to see.
Like,
I mean, you've got Oriana. It's the perfect champion for those dragon fights. Those narrow corridors. That's where you want her. So I'm looking
yeah,
for it.
I agree. And like someone bossed them around. Like someone's got a shot call, right? Or are
Yeah,
they all just sitting quietly in comms? It makes you wonder, like, what is their communication like if no one's rotating, if no one's calling for a play or engaging? You're just like, what are the comms? Peel, 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 run, run,
yeah, right.
give like
Ult
I don't
out.
know. Yeah, volley, just press on in the opposite direction, man. Get the frick out. Yeah, running with his tail between his legs. Yeah, and ladies and gentlemen, game number 2 is on its way as we get set up here. Let us know. We have a poll that's just started here recently. Who do you think is going to win game number 2? First Blood Dongers or Revenge Nation Turquoise? Let us know as Azir BMs us a little bit. What a nice guy.
Yeah, I'm definitely hoping for not an early game like last game. I hope there's a little bit more aggression. I'm specifically looking towards this bot lane. Both laners have very much kill potential. I'm not encouraged by the lack of ignite in the bot lane, but you know, I can hope.
double like, oh my gosh. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Very passive, very, very passive.
We might see a little bit of some action coming in the top lane though.
Yeah, Ray is going very aggressive. But yeah, not too much gonna happen.
As always.
I've been surprised. Like I said last game, I thought ZPM and 13i were going to be the 2 carries for their team, but Ray has been the one. I mean, he got a solo kill in that top lane. I think if you're looking to anybody to carry this game, it's going to be Ray in that top lane. I think Trippy actually needs to pay a little more attention to him as well.
Yeah, I would agree with that. He tried to get a good gank at like level 2 or 3, but Orin had already noticed that he wasn't there, or like that he was getting ganked, and so honestly he showed himself for no reason. But yeah, it looks like he might want to try and focus top again, as he is starting bottom side here, and Malphite's a little bit easier to gank than Orin, who can stop CC and whatnot. But yeah, both junglers starting in the bottom side here. Ooh. Olaf is actually opting into a full clear as he's going for his correct second, so he might look to hyperscale, which is actually pretty good. I have to say, into an Azir whose sole purpose is to either insec or stop a fight from happening. If Olaf is fed, Zir's not looking good. He's just gonna get destroyed. So kind of good that he's full clearing. I approve, but I also hope that some ganks happen here as well. And so as a support main, how would you play Karma's side of this matchup? Would you be going like autoing the Caitlyn on every minion? Like how do you see the aggression being played? Because you mentioned that.
I do think a lot of that, I'm not a Karma main, but a lot of that aggression I think goes on to Reckoning, because a lot of the kill potential for that bot lane is Reckoning landing a binding into the snare from Caitlyn. You know, if you're able to combo that CC, that's pretty much an instant kill. So if you're able to poke Reckoning out of that lane and basically make him a non-factor, now you can zone Caitlyn off the CS. Now you've basically got the lane under control, as we see Strong getting taken down pretty low, but Ray might be the one in trouble now, as Itaconic's gonna be able to pick up that kill. Oh, flash over the wall, not gonna be enough though. First blood going over to Itaconic, and already starting things off a little rough for first blood dongers.
Oh, absolutely. And not only that, the wave is in such a bad spot.
Yeah.
He has to TP back to that. And that's the thing. Miscommunication, coordination, whatever you want to call it, that is a TP down simply because Kled didn't respect the fact that his jungler was full clearing and they had no vision on Hecarim. If your jungler is full clearing, please do not overextend in the top lane, because that's where the jungler is heading and you're setting yourself up to just get absolutely destroyed, which just happened. So note to top laners, if your jungler is full clearing, stay back, or at least shove quickly enough that you can then go back.
Yeah, and I would say it's honestly a good read on the side of Revenge Nation Turquoise, seeing like, okay, Ray, he's the guy who's going to go aggressive early on. He's the one who's chunking him out, and we know it's an O-off. There's a possibility he's full clearing. So, I mean, let's just look top lane, you know, good on Strong World to actually potentially have called that out and said, hey, come top.
Yeah, and he knows that he's losing that matchup. Like, there's no one, not even a bronze player would say, oh yeah, Maokai beats Kled in lane. Oh yeah, we're good. Uh-oh.
Trippy having a flash away here. Wow, that was a very quick reaction time. I'm not sure if he needed to. I mean, he might have gotten killed there. I don't know.
I mean, he was low, so it was a panic, but like, Hecarim doesn't have any way to get onto him. So I think he was okay, but you know, better safe than sorry, I always say. Whereas the saying goes, and never mind, he's gonna go in.
And no flash available for Trippy. He's just gonna go down, and that is so rough for him. Oh my goodness.
Well, these fights don't last very long.
No, they don't. No, they're not. They're not very drawn out, but I mean, they're very impactful. Already 2 kills going over to the side for of RN. They're 1K ahead at 5 minutes. This is much more of a lead than we saw last game. And with how dominantly they shut out that game, you know, controlling the objectives, I think that things are looking pretty grim for First Blood Dongers.
Yeah, it really is, and I feel like they get outscaled for the most part if they're not ahead in the early to mid game, and they're not. So scaling, not really an option. Again, like the only thing I could see is if they set up first, or if they find a good engage to pick someone off and actually pull the trigger this time. Then they'll be able to work that Kled and the Olaf, because both of them are unstoppable while they're ulting until they land. So that could be a good way to engage. Let's see.
Yeah, and ult's going to come out onto Ray in the top lane, but Strong World is going to be in a really bad spot. Might be able to pick up the kill, but no, Kled is going to be able to make it out okay. Trippy getting a kill for himself, so coming back a little bit. That is very, very important for First Blood to give Trippy that kill.
Oh, absolutely. That's what you want to see. We just talked about how Olaf needs the money. He needs to be a beefy boy, and he's picking himself up a kill and keeping up in CS with Hecarim, actually. So Trippy definitely showing up a lot more than last game. Props to him for that, not letting Tilt get to him. And I like what you said. Like, I hope that I keep wanting to say something else when I see FBV, but when First Blood Dongers lose that first game, you said they need to just shed the Tilt, right? And I got this image of like Harry Potter where like the Weeping Willow sheds all of its leaves at once in a single shake. It's kind of weird, but like that's exactly what you have to do with the tilt or any negativity in the
the
atmosphere. Just completely shed it. Just get it off all at once. You're good to go for the next game. And it looks like Trippy's definitely done that, showing up.
Absolutely. Yeah, Trippy, hopefully he keeps this going here. He is even in CS, which is much better than he did last game. I'm not going to lie, looking back to the ban pick phase, I don't know how Itaconic got the Hecarim again. I know it has a very low win rate in the ReDefy League, but it's very highly sought after in, solo queue and many other leagues. So I'm surprised they let that go over.
Yeah, that's a good point. As the Giants battle in the top lane, both just gonna back out. Nothing crazy happening, and you have to wonder as well, how did they get Caitlyn and Morgana?
Yeah.
On top of that, 3 of the most meta picks right now, just given over. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe it's a 5-head strat. Make them think that they got the best picks in the game, even though they actually did, and then just stomp them because they're overconfident. What do you think? No, not really.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, here's the time to pull out crazy strats. If you're First Blood Dongers, like you're losing in CS. You're losing in CS in, I guess, the jungle. They're actually not that far behind. I was gonna say I was gonna get on them about CS, but they're keeping up fairly well. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, at least they kind of counterpicked a little bit better. Like Volibear and the Hecarim, you're just so freaking useless.
You are.
So yeah, I like that their draft is a little bit cleaner. However, I mean, I guess they're playing comfort, so props to them for knowing what they're strong at.
And First Blood Dongers, they were targeting what was giving them difficulties last game, getting the Lulu off the table as well as the Corki. I think those were 2 really big bans that they needed to get out. I think that Itaconic has more of a role in these team fights than they might realize.
Yes, definitely. Like, Senna is not good when she's on top of. She has good escape with her E, but if someone's on top of her E does nothing. Absolutely nothing. And Hecarim can be unstoppable in his ult, and then you have Morgana's Black Shield to also further the ability for him to just stick onto the ADC and just destroy. So it's going to be hard to peel, and since he's so fed, he's going to go for Trinity Force once again, as they don't really have a front line on the side of the First Blood Dongers. So he doesn't need to get a Black Cleaver, which means he's a carry instead of more of kind of a utility engager. And that's what I love to see in Hecarim, the fact that they can engage.
Yeah, and we see a binding landing under the turret onto Jakers. The exhaust does come out just in time. Flash away! Jakers is going to try to stay alive, but Onslaught Shadows will come through. A lot of damage landing onto Caitlyn. Peacemaker is going to land that kill. 1 kill trading back for 13, though. Very least, they get some gold into the pocket of their AD carry.
Yeah, and look at the Rift Herald. While that was going on, it got picked up and is getting dropped in the mid lane. We got a crazy fight going in the top lane as well. Oh, man! Oh,
a lot of damage coming out. Strongworld's going to have to flash away, as we see in the mid lane. That Rift Herald is smashing through those turret plates. And Azir almost getting taken down as well.
Yep, has both his ultimate, Orianna as well.
Re-engage in the top lane. Turret shot's going to come out onto Ray. 1 more hits, but not going to be enough damage. Ray getting the solo kill up top.
Definitely one of the star players on this team, wrecking havoc. And you can see why First Blood Dongers would definitely opt into getting him a strong matchup, because he knows how to make it.
Oh man, you were just talking about him. Oh, that feels so bad, man.
Creating for a plate. I respect it though, man. Ray, you're the carry. Keep on it. Keep at it.
Just keep on pushing, man.
He even has a Cole. So he's winning lane with like potentially a waste of gold if you think about it as far as stats go. And yeah, that shows a lot to his ability in knowing the matchups and playing mechanically well. So props to him.
Yeah.
Even though he just died.
Yeah. I want to touch briefly on this bottom lane. We had talked about it before, but I think, both sides kind of wasting their spells quite often. Looking at earlier on in the game, we were talking about that Karma Senna and how they could potentially bully this lane a little bit. But I've noticed many times when the camera pans down there, a lot of Karma Q's missing. Karma's been going and they just haven't been able to get that pressure off like they would have. They're playing aggressively as though they do have that pressure, but they're not landing their skills. And Caitlyn's 10 CS up, so this is going to be a big deal going into the mid game.
Yep, but hey, the Dongers are going for a dragon. Never mind. Well, they
teleport's coming in. Ray's gonna actually be there for this fight. Azir's ult is up. Shockwave. Everybody's ult is up except for Ray's here. So Dragon's gonna go very low. And oh my gosh, Dongers didn't even contest. They just let it go over. And now the engage is gonna come through. Ray is gonna try to get enough damage now. Reckoning has to flash over the wall. Itaconic is gonna jump onto 3 members of the team. Huge onslaught of shadows. Jagers is gonna fall down as well. And everything going in the favor of Revenge Nation Turquoise as they're going to stomp their way up to that mid lane, look towards bot lane, and they're just going to take everything.
Absolutely everything. They're going to get first tower on that as well in the bottom lane. Just an absolute stomp, that fight. And you have to wonder, why did they not pull the trigger yet again?
I don't know.
To, but it was late. You have your ult, Olaf, go for the steal. But instead they engage afterwards, and it's not vibing. It doesn't vibe. It doesn't clash. It doesn't make sense. Hopefully that changes in the future. They started it. That's a step towards
they started it. Yep. We talked about, or I touched briefly in Champ Select on like what kind of initiation you have to get that Orianna ball in the right place. I mean, this team fight was very disengaged for the side of FBD, just because Orianna was in the mid lane. She was trying to clear a wave as everybody was piling in the bot. But you also didn't have that Kled ultimate, so he couldn't even go in and get to where he needed to go. So they didn't really have the utility they needed for that team fight.
No, absolutely not. And it is unfortunate. Can they recover this time? It's looking worse, honestly, than last game. They do have a little bit more late game, or mid game, I would say, mid game insurance. But again, it just doesn't seem like their engages are on point. And I would say, if I had to like give some advice from a good place to First Blood Dongers, I would just say, you know, be okay with making mistakes.
Sure.
But like, do some limit testing while you're at it. Don't just give things up. Like, it's okay to lose, but like, have a reason why you're losing. Don't just lose because, you know, I don't know, you're not doing anything, right? Limit test. That's all I have to say. Limit test and be okay with it. Be happy with it. Have some fun.
You learn so much more for just going for it and trying. As we see in the top lane, there's going to be another dive onto First Blood Dongers. 2 more kills getting picked up on the start of RN, and that top lane turret sure to fall thereafter. Things are looking very grim for First Blood Dongers.
Yep. Olaf is nowhere nearby, so they got to pick that up for free. Orianna has anchored herself to the mid lane once again. And yeah, the bottom lane just has no support whatsoever. 1-3, 0-3. They've been tower dove twice now. They're getting stomped in lane. Where is the cavalry? Where is the help? It isn't there. And they're just getting punished for it. It's like 2v the world down there for Senna and Karma. Kind of feel a little bad.
It does definitely feel bad as we see a binding land, and that's just, you're just feeding the carry. That is not looking good for the side of First Blood Dongers. At this point, I'm trying to think, like, what are their win conditions? They're 2 dragons down. They need to actually secure that objective if they hope to even survive into the late game. They need to stop that early Dragon Soul. So we see Rift Herald's gonna get taken too.
Yep, and they could potentially open up the top lane with this. They have such a lead right now. They have good disengage. They have good engage. Why not just break an inhib? Like, you have all the tools necessary. And I don't know. I would do that. I think that's the fun way to play. Just be absolutely out of your mind aggressive. And yeah, I guess the team has been. But yeah, win con, dude, for FBD. I'm not seeing it.
Get the Olaf fed as much as you can.
Like, take the Baron, take the Dragon, steal something. But
that's a good point. Yeah, just try to go for objectives at this point, and keep farming. I think wards have kind of been a bit of an issue for the side of First Blood Dongers. I think warding around the objectives especially, but also just warding in their jungle so that they can, you know, keep away Itaconic. He's been very disrespectful, just walking into the jungle, taking camps whenever he pleases. So
that's a good point. And as you say that, they put 3 wards in the same
that was exactly what I'm talking about.
Unfortunate. Hey, they're setting up for this. They're ready.
They are. I mean, you talked about it.
So
They gotta go for it, and they're gonna get that Scuttle Crab, so they will have vision over this. I don't think they're just gonna give this one up, but looking at RN's positioning, they dropped the Rift Herald in the bot lane. Now they're pushing out mid lane, but they might have been a little bit too caught out as the rest of the team is trying to respond by taking that dragon. And it looks like First Blood Dongers just got the runaround. Like they straight up, they looked for it but couldn't find anything. And now the onslaught of shadows is gonna come through. Ray is gonna get taken very low, and Trippy might be a little too aggressive. It's 2 members gonna get Emperor's Divide back into the middle of the team, and again, RN just making these people, making them look bad. Like RN is playing this really, really well, honestly.
yes. Yeah, I mean, props. FBD saw an opportunity to maybe get the top lane or the mid laners down. I think it was Maokai, and oh man, yeah, that's
a big shutdown, but
it is. But I'm gonna say a little too late.
yeah, it's not gonna matter.
But yeah, so I mean, you just can't pick an Azir when all you have is Olaf and Kled. Just simply put, he has like a massive dash, he has flash, and he has his ultimate. So props for trying to make the pick, but yeah, very, very slippery target for sure. And then when you have Orianna not pressuring him in lane, and no ganks are coming to the mid lane, that means that Azir always has his flash up. So he's always safe. And that's a big issue. I think that's a big name of this game, like the story of the game. Like the lack of aggression means that when you want to make a play, you can't because you haven't exhausted any of the enemy's resources, and they're able to they have all the summoners, everything that they need, and yeah, your efforts are in vain every time because you try and pull the trigger too late.
I think FBD, if they see this team again in the future, the Hecarim is going to be one of the main things that they look to ban away. Because every time they go to look for a team fight, right, they didn't want to take that fight in the bot lane. They just rushed towards the mid lane. And I commend them for actually all grouping as a team and just saying, all right, we're going to go for this objective. You know, we're going to go for the mid laners, people pushing on mid lane. Let's just do it. And everybody agreed collectively. But I don't think, like you said, they're so slippery, you know, with the Azir. You can't get that pick. And they're too afraid to take that team fight head on with Itaconic being 7, 2, and 7. I think, honestly, the draft needs to change.
How so? Like, do you think they need to be more defensive in their draft, or what are you thinking?
I think FBD, like, I'm really just picking on that Hecarim. I don't think you can let Itaconic get it, because he's proven 2 games in a row now that he can get such a lead and be such a presence in these team fights that I think that's really what you ban. It is amazing though, like we talked about, like Hecarim, Caitlyn, and Morgana all getting picked up for the side of RN. It just does feel like they got outdrafted here a little bit.
Yeah, and like, yeah, I mean, they're just too slippery, and when you pick a heavy engaged composition and then you let the Morgana through, yikes. Oh, wait.
Yeah, Ray is going for it here in the bot lane, but the Sand Soldier damage is just too much. He's going to get taken out. And
I was voting for you.
Oh, man. That's rough.
Nice try, though. You got to do something. Ray understands. He's got 5 deaths, man, and I'm gonna say I love that. Die some more, man. Limit test some more. Like, just do it. Like, this is League of Legends, man. It's a strategy game, sure. Play safe. Play your heart out in the safety spectrum. But like, be the one that's willing to look silly to try and carry your team. I love to see that as well.
Absolutely.
Like, Faker didn't become a star by sitting back and letting people do things to him. He is the one that made crazy plays that people would never think of making.
Yeah.
And poor Senna. He's out. He's out. Let's go. Oh, he's not.
He's gonna chase on, but he will get locked down. I think Senna's actually free here. Teleport's gonna come through from Strong World. They really wanted him, but oh no, that was Arizen. But yeah, I like where your head's at. FBD at this point, you feel like, I mean, you're so far behind. You're 10k behind. The enemy team is on Dragon's, Soul Point. I think at this point you just play like you start thinking like less of like what can we do to get back in this, and more of like, okay, what can we learn from this? What can we do currently in this game to test out as we see the shockwave missing it. Oh my gosh, CPM got blown up.
The headshot, no mercy.
So much damage.
Yeah, and I agree. When you do a VOD review of a game where you just let everything go, like
you don't learn.
Decide. Yeah, like. Yeah. Looking at this, should we have contested? Well, I guess.
We don't even know.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know because you never tried it. You haven't limit tested. Whereas if you do go in and then realize what happened, oh, maybe you focused the wrong target. Maybe your engage was too soon or whatever. Yep. But like, if you don't do anything, it's really, really hard to learn. So I think that's just the story of the game. But they're definitely playing like decently as a team when they try and disengage in things, but the macro is just a little bit off, and then not pulling the trigger. I think maybe understanding the team compositions, like you said, in draft a little bit better could help.
And I think it is kind of a 50-50 here. Like FBD is giving up things that they shouldn't be. They're playing poorly, but RN is honestly playing around what FBD wants to be doing really, really well. That drop of the Rift Herald in the bot lane, pushing out mid lane as Dragon is respawning, that is some high-level coordination that you don't normally see from a flat-level team.
Yeah, I would agree. By no means they're a bad team at all.
Oh, and the engage is going to come through here. So much speed for FBD, but instantly Karma's going to get blown up. I don't know how to say his name. Kaylin is doing so much damage. Ray's going to fall as well, and that is the entire team getting killed. And it looks like Revenge Nation Turquoise is going to pick up their first win of the league right here. Unfortunately, FBD going to go 0-2. We're coming into here to week 2. But yeah, very well played from our end.
Absolutely, very, very well played. If you're first Blood Dongers, I honestly wouldn't even feel bad. There's stuff that you can improve. Great. I love the fact that people can improve. That for me is a great motivator. And I don't know, it's just nice to feel that there's somewhere to go. And so yeah, don't feel bad at all. For real, Revenge Nation Turquoise, absolutely, like honestly stunning.
Really stunning.
The league that they're in. Just showing incredible macro. So congratulations, guys. That is the series. Revenge Nation Turquoise taking it away. As Small Dog said, their first win of the league, and hopefully more to come. We might actually have an interview as well, so stay tuned. But yeah, let us know what you guys think in the chat. Who do you think was the MVP? Because I'm gonna say it was Hecarim. I don't know. What are you thinking?
I think I'm going to have to agree. Iconic, time after time, playing those team fights so well. Stat line wise, you saw Caitlyn was popping off in the bot lane, but really just not that much aggression. I was a little bit disappointed on how they were able to play those bot lanes out. I think it's just I'm kind of an aggressive support player, and both of those support players were very passive. But yeah, I'm going to have to give it to Iconic. He played that Thresh, or I keep calling it Thresh. Hecarim very, very well. Different Shadow Isle champion.
Yeah, I mean, but they both have the soul. Like, yeah,
they got the themes going there.
Yeah, and then they have like the scepter or whatever you want to call it, like the Reaper hook.
Yeah, kind of. I see where you're at.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we have the one, the only Obongo, the ADC, the legend, the myth. How are you doing, my friend?
Dude, I'm doing pretty good. Feeling good about a 2-0 for this week.
2-0. Yeah, that's great, man. And honestly, you guys had an incredible performance. Small Dog here and I have been talking about it. Your macro was on point. Yes. And just your ability to outmaneuver your opponent. Like, first off, props. You did great, but we want to know why. How did you do so good? Like, what is your team dynamic? How do you shot call practice? Just I don't know. It's a very vague question, I know.
Yeah, I'm very interested in the communication because we saw like some really good plays, two people pushing out mid lane as dragons respawning. We saw the Rift Herald get dropped in the bot lane. Like, what's that communication like for you guys? Did you feel comfortable in that situation?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I feel like a lot of the early game that we look for is kind of pre-planned in like while we're doing champ select. Like once we have the 5 champions that we want and we draft the team comp that we're looking for, that sort of is the starting point of the conversation of how we want to play the game. So I guess for the second game with the Caitlyn Morgana, obviously, that's just a really high priority lane. Like it's pretty easy to just always push out and get priority whenever you want to go. So
Right.
for that game specifically, we were like, okay, we have the Hecarim, and we have a pushing bot lane. So we should just be looking to stack dragons. And then once we get that soul, about like 22, 23 minutes, depending on when we start it, that's kind of our pressure point of where we're able to fight around early game pressure. So we already knew Maokai was going to be weak side against Kled. That's just not a matchup Maokai's ever going to win on his own. So basically just like investing resources into wherever we're trying to play through early game.
I like it. And communication is key, but good communication, correct communication. Communicating the right things is even more so key to having success. And I like how you talked about before the game even starts, you know your matchups.
Yep.
You know how the game's kind of gonna go in the early game. And yeah, it really showed. You definitely put on a dominant performance. And Small Dog and I were talking about how we're really excited to see you guys in the future. How you guys mesh as a team is incredible. Your team fight potential, your macro is ridiculous for
Very
this league.
impressed.
So yeah, and as an ADC main yourself, do you like the current meta? Like, who's your favorite ADC?
Yeah, who's your favorite champion right now to play?
So my favorite ADC, like regardless of meta, is Lucian. Unfortunately, top and mid kind of stole that away from bot lane, so I don't really ever get to play that anymore. But I mean, I don't know. I really like Caitlyn a lot. I like Ashe. Those have just kind of been the two champs that have just been so dominant for the past like 3 months or so. Kind of like whenever lines up with summer split for a lot of the like pro leagues and whatnot. I think in competitive play where it's like organized 5v5, I think AD carry is actually not that bad of a role. You have a lot of like high utility champs like the Ashe, the Senna, all these different things that are all pretty good. And then obviously Caitlyn's just kind of a lane bully. So I think at that point I'd say like Caitlyn is just kind of first pickable regardless of what side you're on. Just because if you're good at her and good laning, then it's pretty easy to just have control over bot lane. In solo queue, AD carry is a little less fun. I would say. You can kind of, I would say you could probably pivot to like mage picks or a couple other things. But yeah, I think it's in a good spot. I think for competitive wise.
Right on. I have a quick question. So, like in that bot lane, getting drafted the Morgana early on, and then seeing the Karma come out, how did you feel about that matchup? Because as we were talking about the draft, we felt like the Senna Karma was going to end up bullying you guys out a lot, but it seemed like it kind of went the other way.
Yeah, it's definitely on, I would say, the Karma to have that priority, because Karma has always just been like a counter pick into Morgana. It's one of the better shielding champions that also can break Black Shield in 1Q. So that's where that advantage usually comes from. But at least for the Caitlyn into the Senna, I actually think that the Caitlyn is just way better. And as long as you're not sitting around caster minions, then for the most part, Senna Q either she has to basically choose between queuing you to get a stack of the soul or queuing the wave. And if she doesn't queue wave, then she's just going to get out pushed in the lane. So you definitely have a better support matchup in bot lane, but I think that AD carry versus AD carry, that Caitlyn pretty much should always win out in terms of the push.
Right.
Yeah, agreed. Like we were talking about that, how like Ashe Karma, there's a reason why they were picked together as well into like a Kate Morgana, because you have the extra push potential. So yeah, that's interesting to see how like I don't know. I feel like Karma's a beast and should have been able to outpush you guys, but you guys seem to have known the matchup a little, maybe a little bit better, I guess we could say.
Yeah.
We'll say it, Obongo, you're a beast. Okay.
Thank you.
But yeah, so interesting insights from you. Definitely shows why you guys were such a dominant team. You know your stuff. And Obongo, thanks for joining us. But last, thing but not least, would you like to have any shout outs to anybody that's watching?
Yeah, shout out to the Revenge Nation org. They're pretty neat. And rest of my teammates for allowing me to look good in bot lane.
They did have a lot of support for you. Keep going. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, like personal, like Twitter at Obingus. I also stream at Feeling Eager on Twitch, but other than that, basically just the org and the personal shout outs, not much else.
Right on. Hey, do you stream like your scrims or anything like that, or just more solo queue?
It's kind of like a split between those. Usually, like we'll do, whenever Clash is around, we'll usually stream clashes, and anytime we have the availability to do streaming, we usually like to. So, yeah, that's a good place to go if you want to screen peek off of us.
Watch out for those.
Honestly, it's a good way to learn, watch other teams in your league, see how they play, and kind of mimic that. So you're definitely a force to be reckoned with. Thanks again for joining us, and we're going to go ahead and close things out. But yeah, thank you.
Thanks for having me.
So that's it. Second game, 2 games coming at you this week. I don't know if it'll be that way next week, but when a team needs to reschedule, we'll always try and see if we can stream that extra game if we have enough people available. We want you guys to be able to see what's going on with the other teams, so you can kind of better prep yourself. And honestly, who the heck doesn't want to be streamed and have a bunch of people watch them? I think that's a great motivator. So yeah, Small Dog, take it away, my man.
Yeah, it was really exciting seeing Aaron play. I'm glad we got to cast this one. So, but yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Please drop that follow, and until next time.
Woo! Stay healthy, gamers. We'll catch you. Bye.